I'm sure the names Sodom and Gomorrah are familiar to many Christian ears. Telling people that you are going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah sends chills down their spines, and this can be the worst statement you ever make to someone. As I think about the manner in which these cities were wiped off the face of the earth, I'm struck with awe and horror as I imagine burning sulfur raining from heaven and igniting fiery flames of fire that erased buildings, people, vegetation, and animals that happened to be in its wake. I conclude that we had better listen to what the Spirit says to the churches. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah happened in the days of Abraham, when the sinfulness of the people therein had become so great that the outcry of its victims reached God. We are told that the intensity of the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah was so great that God became suspicious. He wondered whether this outcry was genuine or whether it was an exaggeration. So God said to Abraham, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin so grievous, that I will go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know." That is recorded in Genesis chapter 18, verse 20. It is worth noting that it was possible for God to punish Sodom and Gomorrah immediately the outcry reached him, because it was too much. But he didn't do that. Rather, he chose to first send what I would describe as a commission of inquiry constituted by 3 angels. These angels apparently had powers to destroy should they find it necessary. But their primary job was to establish whether what the people had done was as bad as the outcry that had reached God. What does this teach us? Quite often, we make conclusions. We judge people and punish them on the basis of exaggerated rumors, without making an effort to first examine the facts. We have no shortage of people, rumor mongers, who can blow things out of proportion so much that you think the world is coming to an end the next day. And if you make decisions based on such rumors, you are likely to make serious mistakes that may result in irreversible damage. So let us learn a lesson from God in this story. He had power to punish Sodom immediately the outcry reached him, but he chose to first establish the facts. And this teaches us the importance of patience and self-control. We ought to train ourselves and refrain from acting based on emotional impulses triggered by people's quote-unquote outcries. Because more often than not, these outcries are exaggerated, and God knew this was a possibility. That's why he handled the situation the way he did. If you punish without first examining the facts, you may end up sweeping away the righteous who you desperately need and preserve the wicked. For that matter, people in leadership positions need to pay particular attention to this lesson and apply it consistently. Sometimes, the right thing to do is to let the weeds and the wheat grow together until the time of harvest. Because pulling out the weeds immediately you see them can be counterproductive. This is because while you are pulling out the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. That's why mob justice is such a bad strategy.